Congratulations on your offer. So impersonator asks if they should accept this new offer they received. I'll give you my yes or no at the end, but much more important than the yes or no will be the thought process. How do we evaluate any offer? And basically there's 3 steps. You need to understand the offer value well beyond the finances. You need to think about the expected cost of a better offer and then ask yourself if you want to put in that cost. Cost here is going to include time, effort, risk, and so on. When thinking about the pros and cons, there are basically 3 reasons that I give for seeking any role. An employer might even ask you, why are you interested in this role? And the answer is growth. I'm interested in this role because for me it represents growth. And growth can be enunciated in 3 ways. Compensation growth, title, level, or role growth. This would include, like if I'm going into management, I would loop that in this bucket over here. And skill growth. Skill growth is going to include technical skills as well as domain expertise. So understanding fintech would be a domain familiarity gain. And then Python, JavaScript, GCP, AWS, these are all tech skills. Notably, you should not go for a role where you have 0% of the relevant domain and tech skills. You want to go for a 50 to 80% sweet spot so that you can onboard effectively and grow effectively. A big mistake people make is thinking that comp means base salary and equity. That's true. And then sign-on bonus and maybe relocation bonus. Compensation means everything the employer is giving you. And that's going to include a whole lot more. Yes, 401k, health. But you should also be thinking about, is this a remote role? That's a benefit. It has a financially equivalent value to the average market of 30 to 50 grand, according to research from interviewing.io. But you're going to subjectively value that for yourself. How much does that mean to you? Put a number on it. You can use this mental model. If I had to go into work every day, how much would the company have to pay me so that I would say that it's worth it? And you can put a number on it. Quality of life. Do they have unlimited PTO? How much is that worth to you? Or you can look at market data if you want to, but really how much is it worth to you? Quality of life can mean other things too. Like maybe at your current job, there's someone that you don't enjoy working with. You can ask yourself the same question. How much money could the company give me every day so that I would be happy to work with them? And that will be part of the benefit that you're getting for leaving your current role. And prestige of the company, as well as the network, the people that work there. Did you get a referral to this company? Were you referred? Are you going to have a good relationship with the manager? In some cases, I've been referred by a manager, and that can lead to expedited promotion, right? So in addition to the actual title, consider the possibility of career growth there from a title perspective. What does their job skill matrix look like? What does their title matrix look like? Is senior the top level? Is staff the top level? Is there senior staff? Is there principal? What are the gaps to get to that level? Because if you have a fast track to promotion, that's a benefit. Okay, now you can evaluate your offer, but the question is a job search question. If you accept, you're terminating the entire job search. So you need to ask the question, what is the best realistic offer that I can get on the job search? Okay, and so my question to you would be, where are you on this curve? Is this like the first offer that you've gotten? We should expect that as you continue to snowball through the job search, you're going to be able to compete better, negotiate better, and get better and better offers, perform in the interview better, and so on. Ideally, you're organizing your job search with tier 3, lower prestige, least preferred companies up front so that you can basically practice and then crush the harder ones that typically have better pay, prestige, and so on, right? And then you're going to need to evaluate what is your preferred or realistic best offer. For me, if a role doesn't have a 30% increase to value, again, across those different definitions of value, I'm not really interested. So for me, that 30% is going to be about 100K plus in financial equivalent, but it can be non-pecuniary, right? It could be like full remote and stuff like that. But this is subjective, so figure out your own number. And then what about time, effort, and risk? So if you keep going on this thing, it looks like it's a solid line, it looks guaranteed. But the truth is that this is like a risk vector. So any particular interview, you're not guaranteed to pass it or get an offer, right? This is just an overall trend. Are you willing to accept that risk, or are you risk averse? By the way, if you're risk averse, you should be overweighting base salary so that even 2 equivalent compensation packages will have a different value to you. If you're risk averse, the base salary is going to be worth more, right? Make a note about the 1-year cooldown. So most companies have 6 to 12 month cooldowns or less. And so how long should this job search take? You might want to set an upper limit of a year. Really, I like to do mine in 3 to 4 months and then kind of take the best one for now and then maybe revisit in a year or 2, right? So keep in mind cooldowns as part of whether you should accept the current offer, and then the possibility of negotiation. So this offer that you talk about, is it the best offer after negotiation or pre-negotiation? Which leads me to what I would do if I were in your shoes. I want to emphasize that the thought process is a lot more important than the final advice here. But what I would do if it was me, I would attempt to negotiate and I would probably pass. And these are related. So the fact that you don't have much skin in the game and you're genuinely willing to walk away from the table empowers you to negotiate better. But I say that because I expect that you're not at the far right of the job search, like offers getting better over time. So I would expect, and I think if you're on the fence, this is going to be part of the reason, because you're wondering if maybe you could get a better offer if you keep interviewing, and the answer is probably yes. And so I think that's the reason you should keep interviewing. The trade-off, of course, is that to get a better job, you have to continue interviewing. And interviewing is not super enjoyable for a lot of us, including myself. It's going to take more time. It's going to take more effort. Do pay attention to your interview outcomes, and you should see your answers getting slightly better, your code times coming down, your behavioral answers being delivered more fluently as you continue to practice them. And so you should basically see your offer rate per final loop go up over time, and it's not going to skyrocket, right? It's going to be slight increases. So make sure you play the numbers game and you track it, right? And if you can keep seeing that number go up, then continue to interview, and it's a reasonable expectation that you can get a better offer, particularly if you're negotiating. If you notice that outcomes are pretty flat, you've been interviewing for a couple months and your final loop to offer rate is pretty much stagnant, that could be a sign that you're at the far right of this job search diminishing marginal return. And so maybe you should say, hey, the market is telling me. It's not like one employer telling me, it's like the market at this point is telling me that like this is my value to employers in general. And so then maybe you pause, but that should at least take some of the risk and ambiguity out of the situation. Hope this helps. Follow for more. You can always book a one-on-one call with me through ladderly.io. If you want more detailed advice where I can plug in your personal preferences and like run the numbers for you if it helps, because a lot of this is subjective, right? Hope this helps.